about the others, though? Jeannie over in B Block. Still got about 8 years to go. A long time to sit it out.
What do you mean?
Well, nothing. It's just that she's got the same problem as you. Forget it.
Hey, miss.
These accounts.
You checked your copies?
Well, figures aren't my forte, Mrs. Reynolds. But I did have the accounts department go over them. Not good at all.
Did they manage to find the source?
Indirectly, yes.
You know who's responsible.
Of course. It was you that pointed us in the right direction. Pat Slattery.
There's no point talking about it. If you made up your mind, well, that's that. You have made up your mind, haven't you?
Beach. Beachy, what are you doing?
I'm not coming out. I'm not coming out ever again.
Beecham?
You must be Joan.
Yes.
I'm David Malone. This is my wife, Marjorie. We're Terry's parents.
Lovely to meet you, dear. We've heard so much about you.
You can't run an art class for $200.
That's all we could budget for.
It costs money to run things properly.
It'd be lovely if I could hand over a bank card every time the women need something, but I can't. And even if I could, equipment for an art class would be way down the list of priorities.
Thank you.
I'm not trying to undermine what you're doing, but at least you could have phoned me before you spent the money.
Call just came through from inside. One of the women has barricaded herself in her cell. They say she'll only talk to you.
Do you want to go on?
No, I'll wait.
Thanks, Bob.
Okay.
I'm not coming out, and nothing's going to make me come out. I insist on talking to that person who's in charge.
Right, Mrs. Reynolds will be here in a minute.
For all I know, it's a conspiracy, and she's
Willie,
in on
there is no conspiracy. We are trying to do everything we can.
They're just waiting for me to let down my guard.
No, we only want to help you.
Nightmare. They probably injected me with some terrible drug, and that's why I can't
She thinks
remember
there's a
anything.
conspiracy. She thinks everybody's out to kill her.
See what I can do.
Now, Willie, what's the problem?
Problem? It's more than a problem. How would you like to be chased down the corridors by a man-woman with a carving knife?
When did that happen?
I was too quick for her. If they want me dead, they'll have to come in here and get me. because
Willie,
I've never...
calm down. Now, who chased you with a carving knife?
That Collins woman. She's made one attempt on my life already, and I'm certainly not going to give her another chance.
Well, I don't see why you should keep her on. For heaven's sake, you've given the girl ample opportunity.
Thanks, Joan. I'm sorry, we're talking shop.
Oh, that's all right.
Marjorie doesn't like my receptionist.
I'm sure you wouldn't accept the standard of work David has to at the hospital. You'd have prisoners all over the place.
Oh, we sometimes do.
Do you really?
Well, we have our moments.
But surely it's run like a prison, I suppose. Otherwise, wouldn't it be dangerous?
Oh, we can always handle the troublemakers.
From what we're to believe in the press, they're all troublemakers. Murderers, most of them. The ones looking after them, not much better.
Look, I'm sure that wasn't meant the way it sounded.
What? Oh, no, of course not. Well, our own daughter's one, isn't she?
Joan, do you think Terry... Do you think she's serious about this job?
Of course she isn't. She isn't the type. Besides, we know our own daughter. Better than Joan, anyway.
I thought so, too. Once.
A healthy little chap, is he your son?
Oh, no. No, he's my nephew.
All right, now we're getting closer to the truth. Who told you that?
That's not important.
It's very important, especially if she only said it to frighten you.
She wouldn't do that. She's my friend.
You believe her even though you didn't see the knife?
Well, I was hardly going to wait around for that, was I?
Willie,
May Collins has been your friend for years.
My friends are not criminals, and they certainly wouldn't try to murder me. Now get me out of this place. You've no right to keep me here.
I hate to admit it, but I don't know what to do next. Have you come across anything like this before?
Well, yes, but I don't think it's going to help you. I mean, we forced the door open.
God, no. We'd better get Sister to stand by with somebody to calm her down.
Do you think I ought to check the kitchen for any missing knives?
Believe her?
I don't know what to believe, but she's obviously terribly upset about something.
Yes, perhaps you're right. All right, then. Oh, and call Pat Slatter into Derby Lake, would you?
Right.
Come on, Lee. You're tired and confused. I want to help you, but I can't do it here. Come to my office and we'll work some...
No, I'm not leaving this room.
Because of May?
No, not just her. I don't know who to trust.
Does that include me?
Well, why not? You put me in with those women?
Because they're your friends. I thought that'd help you remember. If what you say is true, you'll be much safer in my office. There'd be 2 locked security gates between you and the women.
I'm glad you told me about young Shane. It's nice to know that Terry's sharing with someone who cares.
Look, Doctor, I don't wish to appear rude.
Oh, for heaven's sake. This is your house. We're the ones that are being rude.
Yes, well, I can understand you being worried, but I'm getting the distinct feeling that I'm on trial.
Ah. Yes, well, Marjorie is possibly the best theatre sister in the state, but diplomacy has never been her forte. I'm sorry, Jane.
That's all right. You've really got nothing to worry about. Terry's very good at her job.
She's very good at everything she does. That's why we wanted her to follow us and do medicine.
But surely if she doesn't want to...
Yes, well, I suppose you're right. But there must be other reasons as well. Perhaps Marjorie's been seeing too many of these films about women's prisons. You know, the sort of thing. Bashings, murders, deviants, all quite impossible.
Oh, that must be Terry now. Where the hell have you been?
See what happened to Hi, Terry G. It's good to see you.
Just a minute. I've been entertaining your parents for the last hour.
Why did they come that early?
Oh, that's not the point. I didn't even know they were coming at all, and now I hear they're staying for dinner.
That's all right. I'm cooking, so calm down.
Terry, you might at least have warned me.
I did. I left you a note.
You left me some sort of scribble about a surprise and the fact that you'll be home at 5:30. Well, surprises like that I can live without. And I suggest you take a look at your watch.
All right. I'm sorry. I did try to get home earlier to explain everything, but I got held up at the supermarket.
Terry, this must have been arranged before today. Why didn't you warn me?
Why do you have to be warned? They're not monsters, they're my parents, and I happen to think they're very nice.
I'm not
anyway,
saying...
I thought you'd be pleased. I'm doing it for you. You wanted me to tell them, didn't you?
Oh, Terry, you can't tell them. Look, I know them now, and they couldn't take it.
And I've known them all my life. For God's sake, Joan, they're thinking people.
They're parents. Very conservative parents.
Yes, they are, but I still believe they have a right to know.
No, Terry, you couldn't do that to them.
You make it sound like I'm about to confess to a murder or something. It's not a crime, Joan. We are not criminals. We are 2 people who happen to love each other.
Terry,
at least I love you if you...
Well, be a moment, Mrs. Malone.
Hello, Mummy. I'm sorry I'm late, but I got held up.
Terry, you don't mean that.
Mummy?
I want to go home.
Mummy, I'm sorry you had to
Don't touch me. Father, please.
Darling, what's happened?
Go home. I want to go home now.
Daddy, please make us stay. I want to explain everything.
You want...
Mummy, please. Daddy, do something.
Terry, not now. We'll be in touch.
Mummy? Mummy, please.
Just thought I would have heard from him by now. Well, he must have other cases to handle. He'll probably turn up tomorrow. But I want to know what's going on. He could phone me. Well, if Auntie May recommended him, then he must be good.
Hi.
How's Steffi?
Better. I left her in her dorm. She's going to have a good long chat to her plans.
Is she still going to forget about the appeal?
No, she's going through with it.
Oh, good. It's going to take a lot of courage.
And a lot of support from us. Where's May?
She was taken off to see Mrs. Reynolds. And Jacko saw Willie being taken somewhere, and she was crying.
What's going on?
I don't know.
I'm going to have a talk to Jacko.
Willie's just told Reno that I chased her down the corridor with a meat cleaver or something. She's cracked.
Willie?
I've taken her to the infirmary for something to calm her down.
You look like you need something yourself.
I just brought the old Willie back.
Hey, come on, love.
I know she's a damn nuisance most of the time. Doesn't mean I don't care about her.
Oh, we all do.
But she thinks we all want to kill her. She's terrified of us.
It'd be awful if they released her before she knew that we're really her friends.
Yeah, well, you're a pretty mean bunch. You've always got me shaking in my shoes.
No wonder she's scared. Poor Willie. Don't you even mention her name. You're no friend of hers.
Yeah? Well, I reckon she sees it different.
Hey, don't bother.
Maybe it'd be better if they did let Willie out with people like her around.
But how do we go about it?
Well, that's what I've been checking on. Now, you have a look and see what you think, Nora, down the bottom, number 14. Now, it says that if we can prove that Willie can't remember the crime she committed, then they can't keep her locked up. Well, what do you think?
I think you've hit the nail right on the head, Julie. Willie needs to be told about this.
Daddy? Daddy, please, you're not even listening to me. No. No, that's not true. You spoke to Joan. You know what she's like. All right, then let me speak to her. All right, then let me come round. But we have to talk sooner or later. Daddy? They won't even listen. They won't even try to understand. What did you say to them?
Nothing.
You said they were here for an hour.
I said nothing about us.
You must have. Mummy just grabbed the phone and hung up. She wouldn't have
Terry,
done it.
I tried to warn you.
You wanted them to know.
It was before I got to know them, and please don't put the blame on me.
I see.
Now, Terry, what you did was wrong. It was unfair to me, and it was unfair to your parents.
But I only wanted them to like you. I just wanted them to know.
Yes, I know, love. But look, Terry, I don't know how or when or even if this thing will ever be forgotten, but, well, at least we've still got each other.
But they're my parents.
And you're their daughter. And you both think you're right. But it's not possible.
Sorry I'm late, Pat. Did you get my message?
Yes, I gather this isn't a social visit.
I'm afraid not.
Look, I'm sorry about today. I just couldn't front up, not with what's being
understand.
said. So I spent the day going through my bank books and statements so that I could show them to you tomorrow.
Pat, don't.
If you check the deposits and withdrawals, you'll find there are no large sums. I've never had much.
Pat, please. I'm really sorry about this, but I'm afraid I've got some unpleasant news for you. The department's decided to suspend you until this matter's thoroughly investigated. You're a good officer, Pat. I want you to know that I fought against the suspension.
Do you know how long I've worked in the prison service?
I don't know what to say.
Do you think I'm fiddling the books?
No. But the department won't accept responsibility either. So there has to be an investigation.
What'll that prove? Can you honestly say you check every piece of paper that turns up on your desk? You know how much paperwork we have to get through?
This incident only goes to prove how careful we have to be with everything.
Yeah, well, that's something I won't have to concern myself with again,
Yes,
isn't it?
you will. You're only suspended, Pat.
It's only a matter of time.
I don't get any pleasure out of this sort of thing. That's why I came over tonight instead of seeing you in my office.
Thank you for that, anyway.
I'll let you know exactly what's going on as soon as the investigation's completed.
Honestly, I don't think she's going to have any trouble. Look, precedents all over the place. 1962, Crown versus Armstrong. 1962, Crown versus Hordsley. 1965.
Why is everyone so convinced that she's putting it on?
Maybe she isn't, but we have to consider it, don't we?
Poor old silly Willie. I mean, it's not much of a choice, is it? Stuck in here knowing who you are, or thrown on the outside not even knowing your own name. Well, someone's got to talk to her, Nora.
Mrs. Reynolds said you weren't to go anywhere near her.
Yes, I know that, but... Well, she's only 3 doors away and it's bloody stupid.
Yeah, well, that's what this place is all about, isn't it? Stupidity. Anyone care for her?
What's wrong?
Well, I was going to offer round the biscuits, but someone's beaten us to it.
You're kidding.
You sure?
Oh, this is getting ridiculous.
Look, I hate to say this, but has anyone considered that it might be Willie?
No way.
She might not know
Look,
she's
she's
doing
lost
it.
her memory. Other than that, she's the same Willie that we always knew. All right, she's a hard-hearted businesswoman, but everything she's got, she got fair and square. Well, not fair exactly, but she's no thief. Well, not really.
Well, then who? And what are we going to do about it?
Well, we're not going to win any votes, but I think we'll have to have another cell search.
Save ourselves a lot of time if we start with Kelly's.
Right, lady? Yep. Right, lock up in 10 minutes.
Look, Mrs. M, I know I'm not supposed to go anywhere near Willie, but... Well, I can't help worrying about her. How is she?
She's fine. Whatever Sister Hall gave her is still working. She's sound asleep. Now, you know you're still in here tonight.
Yes, Mrs. M.
Right, be back in a few minutes.
All right.
I better get going. No night.
Right, we'll finish it tomorrow.
May,
Yes, love.
about Howard Simmons. He is a good solicitor, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the best, love. Why?
Oh, nothing. Good night. Night, Norma.
No, love. Are you going to carry on like this all night?
I'm sorry, Nora. It's just... How did I end up with a silly old tart like Willie to worry about?
Come on. I'll keep knit.
Good on you, love. Willie. Silly sausage. I would never hurt you. Now, isn't it about time that you pulled yourself together? What would your father say? What would he say to me about letting you get into a mess like this? Oh, Willie. I want the old Willie back. Just the way you used to be. You're not even worth shouting at when you're like this. Oh, please, Willie. Please get better. For your dad's sake. Goodbye.
Hello, Joan. Sorry to disturb you. Can I come in?
Well, is it that urgent?
Yes, I'm afraid it is.
All right, come through.
Hi.
Hello, Terry.
I'll just get rid of these and make us some coffee.
Take a seat, Pat. What's so important?
I've been suspended.
Thought that might happen. You gonna fight it?
There's no point. Can't do anything until the investigation anyway. The thing is, until that happens, I don't know how I'm going to pay the bills, and well, I was wondering if something could be done through the union.
Oh, you want to draw on the fund?
Just till I'm reinstated. Will you help me?
Oh, naturally I'll have to put it to the members.
Well, can't you do anything without having a meeting on it?
No, not by myself. After all, it's their money, Pat.
But then everyone will know I'm broke.
I'm sorry, but if you want help from the union, it has to be a union decision. It's entirely up to you.
So what's the story? I've decided Finn's not going to get in our way. We're going to set up business right under her nose.
No, without support, we go nowhere.
You got any alternatives?
Maybe.
Well, spit them out. I can't stay in here all morning.
We do it right out in the open.
What?
We get council approval.
Talk sense.
Look, we make a few helpful suggestions for a bit of entertainment. They'd be in anything to relieve the boredom. We get the go-ahead to set up something like the numbers record, OK? All above board. What we do is sell 30 tickets, only we sell the first 15 twice and only draw from 16 onwards.
I got caught out for that the last time, remember? What happens when people start comparing tickets?
Look, you just got to be careful who you sell them to, that's all. We sell the first lot, say, here, and palm the second lot off somewhere where our slot never bothered to go, like maternity.
Maybe it might work.
Of course it would. We could even be fair about it. Those who dip out this time could get a look in on the second go.
You reckon it'd work?
Oh, once we've got council approval, there's no stopping us.
Retrial for PMS victim. What'll they think of next? A load of rubbish.
I don't know, Joan. The medical evidence is pretty convincing.
Oh, yeah? Have you ever had the urge to go out and rob a bank or kill somebody?
Not exactly.
Those reporters still at the front gate?
So, have you seen the article?
Yes, I have. I can't decide whether it's good publicity or not. Is the governor in your... Oh, no.
Oh.
I would have been here 10 minutes ago if the press hadn't been there. I thought they'd got hold of the Pat Slattery thing, but somehow they found out about the Daphne Graham business. Have you any idea how the story got out? None, but there is somebody who would like to know. The minister has rung 4 times. He wishes to see you straight away. I only just got here.
And Hartley, Patterson, Flynn, Collins, Corbett, Brent and Groom to the laundry. Come on, you've got 5 minutes. Get a move on. Hartley, your trial's been listed for some time this week. You'll be advised.
Can't be. I haven't heard from my solicitor yet. Can I make a phone call, please, Miss Ferguson?
Remind me at 9 o'clock, OK?
Thank you. May, why hasn't he called me?
I don't know, love.
What are we going to do about Willie, Auntie May? I'm sure she didn't believe us this morning.
At least she talked to you. She still thinks I'm trying to kill her or something.
Yeah, well, leave her alone. She'll come around in her own good time.
I wouldn't mind a bump on the head myself if it'd get me out of here.
Are they serious, Louise? Could I really get out of this place?
Dunno for sure, but it sounds
Leave
great.
her alone, Kelly.
I'm just talking to me, mate. Any objections?
Please believe us, Willie. You could get out if you can't remember what you did.
It's worth a try, love.
It's no good pushing her. She can make up her own mind.
Do you think it's worth a try?
Sure. I mean, they're not just going to open the gates and let you out. They'll drive you mad with questions, but what do you got to lose?
Nothing, I suppose.
You're a real pal, Kelly. It's a wonder more of us aren't so fond of you.
It's wonderful when you're Minister for Corrective Services and the only way you can find out what's going on in whatever prisons is through the damn papers.
I'm sorry, I've no idea how the story got out.
Would you mind telling me how this PMS thing came up? What's her name? Graham?
Daphne Graham, transferred from Barnhurst.
Barnhurst? Why hasn't she been treated before this?
Well, if you must know, the MD at Barnhurst was completely unsympathetic to her problem. I'm hoping we've rectified that. She's seen 2 psychiatrists since she's been at Wentworth, and they're of the opinion...
Yes, well, that's all very well, but if the woman's committed a crime, she's committed a crime.
I'm afraid it may not be as simple as that. That's why I called in Dr. Weissman.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought you'd have time for lost causes with your current staff problems.
If you're referring to Officer Slattery, I'm not convinced the trouble's exclusively at our end.
Mr. Chaucer has filled me in on the details. I have a great deal of faith in the man's opinion. After all, it is an accounts matter, and figures are his forte.
Oh, not according to him.
Oh, rubbish, the man's an accountant. Yes!
Guess I better go and collect another load, eh?
Hang about, Lexi. Might be an idea if you did the run this time.
Oh, come off it, it's my turn.
You can do it later. May's doing a cell search.
Oh, not another one. I'm getting jack of all this. Oh, bugger it. Do it yourself. Just make sure you don't mess up my gear.
May, I can't get Howard on the phone.
Well, he's probably busy, love. You know what solicitors are.
No, I keep getting some woman and she's really evasive.
That's what secretaries are for.
She doesn't sound like a secretary to me.
Maybe he can't afford a real one. It's probably his girlfriend.
He'll turn up, Jenny. No point in upsetting yourself.
But my trial's this week. I've got to talk to him.
Hey, maybe that auntie of yours got to him. Offered him a heap of dough just to forget about you.
Would he do that?
No, of course he wouldn't.
Why the hell not? We all know they'd do anything for money.
You just make
gotta go and
things
skip
worse.
Judy. I'll have a chat
Sorry,
later,
okay?
Well, it's time you did start thinking, or you won't have a mate left in this place.
Yeah. Look, I'm sorry what I did to poor old Move. I reckon the council was right, eh?
Changed your tune a bit, haven't you?
Oh, come on, Nora. I was dirty on the parole board and took it out on everyone else. I copped the punishment sweet, didn't I?
Well, that's sweet, but I suppose you did all right.
I got a few ideas for brightening things up in here, too. Want to put a suggestion to the council, if you'll let me?
Fair enough. You can do it at the next meeting.
Oh, you're on!
Look, I know this is short notice for a union meeting, but I'll make sure that the absent officers are put into the picture.
But why is it so urgent?
Well, you see, Mrs. Barry, I happen to believe that when one of us has a problem, we should rally to the cause as soon as possible.
Pat Slattery?
That's right. We've all heard about her suspension.
Yes, but the department does have the right to take action if they suspect an officer of misconduct.
Oh, well, I'm not disputing that. But I don't think that any one of us here believes that it's justified in Pat's case.
Well, as long as she's cleared at the inquiry and reinstated, well, there's no harm done.
That is a little naive, don't you think?
Unfortunately, even if Pat's cleared, the fact that she's been subject of an inquiry stands on her record. Isn't that right, Miss Ferguson?
Quite sure none of us here would like to be in Pat's situation. That's why I feel that she deserves a little more from us than simply a vote of confidence.
Well, what else can we do?
Well, look, I know that Pat would hate me for suggesting this, but, well, let's face it, how many of us could exist for very long without pay?
I wouldn't last longer than a couple of days.
I hadn't even thought about it.
Right. Now, I know that Pat wouldn't ask for it herself, but I really think that this meeting should authorise me to demand that the union give her some sort of financial assistance.
I'll second that, no worries.
Good. Any objections? Fine. Well, I'll make sure that the other officers are put into the picture, and I can't see any of them objecting.
Oh, I should say not. And I think we should all congratulate Miss Ferguson on realising that Pat needed help and for acting so quickly.
Yes. Good on you, Joan.
Well, that's what being a union rep is all about, Andrea.
I think we should tell the Governor what we've decided so that she can see that we're solidly behind Pat.
Oh, I think she'll find out.
Those double invoices, how far did you check them back in the file?
Just a year, Mrs. Reynolds, 1 year.
Right, well, you'll find our records are kept for 3 years. I want you to go right back. Check them all thoroughly and let me know if there are any more discrepancies.
It's all right.
It's all right, Julie. I'm not angry with you. I think you're doing a very good job.
Oh, thank you.
Di, would you get me Ben Fulbright's office, please? I want to see him.
I assure you, Mr. Fulbright will return your call as soon as possible. You're welcome.
Morning, Barbara.
Hello. Am I glad you're here?
I take that personally, or do you just need me to do some work?
The phone's been running hot all morning. It seems you've become quite a celebrity.
Ah, Daphne Graham, right?
Right. Just about every newspaper and TV channel in town wants to interview you.
We'll just have to keep stalling them. Anyway, though, I can't say anything before the appeal. I wonder how the press got hold of it. You wouldn't have done anything so unethical as to leak the story, would you?
Me, sir? Oh, as if I would.
Anyway, a bit of press and public opinion on our side won't do us any harm when we face the 3 wise monkeys in the Supreme Court.
And then I found this batch. They date all the way back and they're exact duplicates of these invoices.
Let's see who signed them. Dennis Cruikshank, Meg Morris, Colleen Powell. Can't quite make this one out.
Janet looks like Connery.
Conway. Janet Conway. There are enough different signatures here to clear the officers of any complicity. Unless they're all in it, and I'll never believe that.
Some of those people have left, haven't they?
That'll be all, thank you.
Yes, Mrs. Reynolds, thank you.
Good heavens, Beecham. There's no need to be frightened of me.
I wasn't sure who it was for a moment, that's all.
And what are you doing just sitting there? You should be having some lunch.
Mrs. Berry, there's been some talk that I could be released from here because of my amnesia. Is this true?
Well, I don't really know. I suppose your loss of memory would have to be proved for a start.
You know I'm not pretending, surely.
Oh, yes, but we don't know when and if you're going to get your memory back, do we? It's always possible they'll let you out, but I don't think it's wise to count your chooks before they cross the road. Now, come on. How about some lunch?
No, I'd rather stay here where I'm safe.
It'd be much safer in the dining room, dear, where there's all that company, and you do have to eat.
Those women are so terrible.
Come on. They're not so bad. Who are you really frightened of?
Oh, all of them. Well, except one, Louise.
Louise?
The one they call Lou Kelly. Oh. No one seems to like her, but I'm sure it's because she's a decent girl at heart. I'm not sure there's anyone else I can trust.
Well, you know what they say about safety in numbers. And if you stay here, you're at everyone's mercy. And I'm sure no one's going to harm you, dear.
All right, Mrs. Berry, I'll come to lunch. But only if you come with me.
Of course.
I couldn't bear to be alone with those dreadful women.
Oh, come on, Jen. Can't you do any better than that?
I've had all I want, thanks.
You've got to keep your strength up if you want to keep fighting them bastards.
Don't worry, I'm not going to throw the towel in. They'll do what they like with all of us in the end anyhow.
Oh, come on, Daphne. Don't talk like that. Didn't you read the paper? I reckon you'll be out of here soon.
know. I can't make out half of what they say anyway. It's real embarrassing me naming the paper like that.
Oh, come on, it's great. You had a chance of getting out of here.
Still a bit scary, but...
Now, it's got me buggered, Laura. I thought I knew every hidey hole in this place and nothing's turned up. After keep looking, May, I still reckon Kelly's it. Turned herself inside out. Anyway, she'd be hard put to hide anything from Daphne. She'd tell us if she saw anything. Have another look just the same.
Well, Daphne's had a bit on her mind lately. She found a really good hiding place. Just might have missed it. No doubt, Nora, but I'll have trouble.
Too late, Beecham. You know the rules. You've missed out.
In that case, I'll go back to my cell.
No, you go and sit down. I'll nip into the kitchen and get you something. It is a prisoner's responsibility to get to meals on time.
I know, Miss Ferguson, but I'm sure the governor will make an exception in this case.
I didn't expect the minister to be exactly overjoyed at the prospect of a prisoner coming up with a defence based on premenstrual tension, but I didn't expect the reaction I got.
And told me he's in favour of it.
Well, not exactly.
Why?
He's afraid it'll lead to every prisoner in Wentworth coming down with PMS and wangling an early release.
That'll solve his overcrowding problem. That's not really funny, is it? It's the sort of closed-minded attitude I expect to get from judges when they hear the appeal.
Surely High Court judges aren't going to be worried about the political fallout.
Well, not in the sense of party politics, but you mention anything smacking of law reform to some judges and they'll run a mile.
I should have thought they'd be willing to support anything that helps make justice appear to have been done.
Law reform is a very slow process.
Just like prisoner reform.
That's why I'm pleased the press got hold of the story. A bit of open discussion in the papers and on TV can only help us.
I wonder who did leak the story.
Search me. I'd like to see Daphne, if possible.
Yes, I'll arrange it.
Well, just a minute, before you go any further. How does the minister's attitude affect you?
What do you mean?
I'd just like to know whether I have your full support in this, or whether I'm facing an official no-cooperation campaign.
Bit blunt, but a fair question. All I can tell you is I'm working on something else at the moment, not directly related to Daphne's case, but, well, if it turns out the way I expect, I think I can guarantee the minister won't be a problem. At any rate, you certainly have my support.
Something tells me I'm going to be glad we're both on the same side.
Get away from me. Oh, don't be bloody silly.
Help me, someone.
Willie! Willie!
Hold on a minute. Goodness, get away.
Get away from me.
Willie, I'm not going to harm you. Honestly, just calm down, will you? Oh, my God.
Bloody hell, are you all right? Oh, all right. Dear, I've nearly broken my neck, and all you can say is, are you all right? Oh, God, what have you done to your hair? You've put those nasty, cheap rollers in again, haven't you?
You remember those?
Unfortunately, yes. May Collins, I'm warning you, if you use those rollers...
Willie!
It's all right, you're not in trouble. I told Mr. Fulbright to see you in here because the interview room's tied up.
Please, Daphne, come on in.
I'll leave you with it.
Thank you. Please, sit down. Please. I'd just like to have a quick word with you about the press.
Press?
The papers. A lot of people are interested in you now. We think it best that you don't talk to any reporters.
I'm not going to be seeing any, am I?
Oh, probably not. Someone's sure to try to get you to say something when you go to court for your appeal.
Yeah. See, I was worrying about that. I think you should probably get somebody else to do this appeal thing.
Do you want to tell me why?
Oh, nothing to tell, really. I was going to do it. It's just that I'm a bit chicken.
Okay, that's good enough. Certainly won't be easy.
Yeah. And see, I couldn't stand them doctors mucking around with me again. They made me feel real bad.
Well, most of the medical examinations are over now.
Yeah, but I still reckon I'd muck up the court case for you.
Okay, that's fine. Not going to push you into it.
And also, I only got a couple of months to serve and then I'll be out anyway.
That's true. You know, if we had your condition recognised and treated now, we could have your criminal record wiped out. Give you the chance of a real future.
Can I still get the medicine without going to court?
Yes, Daphne, of course, of course. If I did nothing else, I'd make sure you got proper treatment. Oh, since that article about you in the paper, you've become quite famous. Everybody wants you to get better.
Why'd they care about me?
Well, if you did decide to go through with it and won the appeal, you'd have your name in all the law books. So that every time a woman came to court and pleaded PMS as a defence, all the lawyers, the judges and the barristers would have to use your case as a guideline.
You mean I could be real famous, like even get on the telly?
You can bet on that.
That's really stupid. Fancy making someone as thick as me famous because they have trouble with, you know, what's it?
Daphne, look, it won't be easy. There'll be a lot of people out there who won't believe you, people who say you're making it all up.
How could I make up something that drives me around the twist?
Some people are like that. They prefer not to believe you in case the truth forces them to change their own way of thinking.
Well, you're good at talking. You could talk to them, couldn't you?
Yes, I think I could. But you'd have to really want to go through with it. Trust me totally. You'd have to let me say things in court you may not like hearing. You'd have to answer all my questions completely and honestly. Do you really want to do that?
Yeah, I trust you.
Thank you. We'll give them a fight they won't believe.
Oh, there's just one thing I want to get straight.
Yes, what's that?
Well, see, I don't really care about being famous or getting on telly. That's a bit scary. But I want us to do this because of what Nora said.
Nora?
Yeah, she's my mate. She reckons I should do this to help all the other girls with the same problem as me. I want to help them, I do.
No serious damage, according to Sister Hall. No thanks to you, though.
Come on, Willie, you slipped and fell. Have you really got your memory back?
Completely. I'm a classic case of traumatic amnesia, she said.
Hey, what's it like having amnesia?
I forget.
Now that you're okay, how about you
I'm
tell
not
us what-
exactly in perfect health yet, dear. I still have some very nasty bruises.
But do you remember who dumped the locker on you?
No one. Oh, no, it was a silly accident. I was looking for the things that had been stolen from me, and somehow, I can't imagine how, I must have lost my balance and pulled the locker over on top of me.
Oh, you silly old duck.
Not so much of the old, thank you.
And we thought someone tried to do you in.
And then to return to my full senses
Oh,
and
you
find
never
out...
had any.
To return to my full senses and find out that Daphne was the thief, well, I was hurt to think that one's friends can't be trusted.
Look, Willie, things aren't always what they seem.
Snake she
dear.
turned out to be, eh?
I don't think we should condemn her without a hearing. After all, she's pretty mixed up.
Yeah, that's what I reckon. Give her a fair trial and bash some sense into the girl, for God's sake.
Oh, I knew there was something I had to tell you.
Well?
Something I found out just before I lost my memory.
Well, what is it then?
I found out the most amazing thing about Miss Malone. And guess who?
Oh, for God's sake, Willie!
Miss Ferguson.
What do you mean? Oh, don't tell me they're on the take.
Oh, no. Much more shocking than that.
Come on, Willie.
They are having an affair.
What? The freaking...
Do you expect to have any trouble getting the union to give Pat some help? Oh, they might carry on a bit, but I'm quite sure I can get them to see it my way. Well, pride or not, I'm sure Pat will be very grateful to you.
Thank you, ladies. I'll see you again soon.
Oh, Mr. Fulbright, how did you get on with Graham? Do you think your appeal's got a chance?
It'll be a real milestone if we make it.
Oh, I do hope you're successful. She's not really what I'd call the criminal type. None of them are, according to you.
You really believe all the women in here are criminals, Miss Ferguson?
Well, they're not exactly girl guides now, are they?
I take it you don't go along with the concept of premenstrual syndrome.
It's just a theory to help some people avoid the responsibility of their own actions.
There you are, Mrs. Barry. That's the sort of attitude we'll have to face in court.
You know, it's a pity there weren't as many people trying to keep criminals in jail as there are trying to get them out.
That's exactly the kind of backward thinking I hope we overcome on appeal. Goodbye.
He obviously hasn't seen the afternoon paper, or he would know that quite a number of people share my view.
Well, neither have I. What do you mean?
Oh, this. The governor's going to love it. Huh? The daughter of the governor of Wentworth Detention Centre claims that premenstrual tension as a defence to criminal charges is an insult to women. Quite a nice picture, don't you think?
G'day, Nor. What's up?
Why did you do it?
Do what?
It's no good, Daphne. We know you're the one who's been knocking off our stuff.
No way, I never did. I wouldn't do that, honest, Nor.
It's no good, Daphne. We know.
But I couldn't help it. No, I just couldn't help it.
I've got to have something to tell the women.
I don't know why. I just felt so rotten. I don't even remember nicking the first lot. I just found it with me stuff.
But there must have been something in your mind. Some reason why you wanted the things.
Not really. It's just there. I've got this sort of fuzzy feeling in my head. And I don't know why, no, I just took them.
Damn. It's this PMS thing, isn't it? I'll talk to the women. Get them to understand, somehow.
They're all going to really hate me now, aren't they? They're not ever going to talk to me ever
Oh,
again.
come on.
Oh, Pippa.
Mr. Chaucer here to see you, Governor?
Thank you, Joyce. Show him in, would you?
I got the message that you wanted to see me urgently. I really am quite busy, you know.
I'm only just beginning to get an idea of how busy you are.
Well, what do you mean by that?
The dates on those invoices prove the swindle's been going on for years. Officer Slattery cannot possibly have been involved for that length of time. The suspension on should be lifted immediately.
It could have been a racket that was going on when she came here and she joined in.
Too many signatures on those dockets belong to officers who are completely above suspicion.
Then I'll have to leave it in your capable hands. I suggest that you conduct your own inquiry and report to me when you've got something sorted out. I've already told you I am hopeless at figures.
That's odd. The minister told me you were a qualified accountant.
Are you trying to say that I am involved?
I'm saying you're running the racket.
That's insulting and ridiculous. I feel obliged to report it to the minister.
Good, I'll come with you.
You're a smart lady, Anne. Look, you have no concept of the size of this operation.
I don't see what that has to do with it.
It's a few $100s each month from Wentworth. No one even knows it's going. Now, you take the same amount from every departmental institution in the state, and we're talking thousands.
An absolute fortune, I should think.
Right. Enough for everybody, including you.
Really? And supposing I accept your offer, what happens to Pat Slattery?
We let her wear it. Oh, it's a bit of a nuisance, but once she's been convicted, I can sort out a new way of operating the scheme. Let me spell it out to you. I can plant enough evidence to tie you into the racket. And I guarantee that you'll not only lose your job, but spend a long time on the wrong side of your own bars.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again. But that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down. But the sun and rain are prisoners too when morning comes around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing all the love we'd known, till I had to face the nightmare of waking up alone. On the inside, the roses grow. They don't mind the stony ground, but the roses here are prisoners too when morning comes around.